Here, this is Love Potato, and this is, well, a new what if. So, the reason why I keep burping is because I just ate a while ago. But yeah, but that's not the problem. But this is a new what if. Now, I know what you're all going to say. Wait, why you gotta make a new what if? What about the others? What about what if Luffy? What if this and what if that? I'm still watching One Piece and I haven't got that far. Reason why I'm just because I was actually reading Hardcore Leveling Player, or not Leveling Player, Hardcore Leveling Warrior. Since that was called webtoon kinda already ended. Somewhat kinda already ended. So yeah. Well, not kinda. It did end. It's because they just left into in the very end something to say to be continued or something. So I don't know if it's gonna if it's already ended or something like that. But the show, you kind of webtoons already ended. But yeah, so sad. I fucking miss it now. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna start crying. But no. Okay. So that's kind of my reason. Also, what's it called? This what if is called What If Naruto was the reincarnation of Ethan Gon, Jin-Woo, and Greed. Now, you probably already know who Jin-Woo is. Yeah, Jin-Woo is. Because I'm hoping you already know. Because it's from Solo Leveling. You already know he's a Shadow Monarch. Well, he became the Shadow Monarch. Shadow Monarch after leveling up from what's it called, the system and all that. So you probably already know him. Besides, I did like a couple what ifs on that, but yeah, well, a couple of what ifs from Naruto being the reincarnation. But yeah, not the point. You don't know who Ethan Gon is. Well, you somewhat do know. If you have watched what they call What If Naruto was the reincarnation 3 webtoon characters that I made on there, and also What If Naruto was the reincarnation of webtoon characters. I kind of added Ethan Gon, and for those two what ifs, Ethan Gon, so you kind of do know a little bit. He's mostly from a Hardcore Leveling Warrior, a webtoon that I just read today, like fully just kind of went through, kind of knew that it was going to be the final series, like it came out yesterday, but yeah. But of course, this guy is broken as fuck. Okay, where do I go from the beginning? Okay, Hardcore Leveling Warrior. He is basically, he gambles most of the damn time. Mostly because of his ability. His ability is to kind of gamble. Either his life or something else. But sometimes he has the worst luck, so he kind of gets screwed over his bad luck. But at the same time, he has very good luck. But of course, not the point. That's one of his abilities. Of course, if you kind of did read the webtoon and you have, well, seen the end, he is blessed. Well, not even blessed. He kind of got the power himself by luck. Because, they said that it was protection, it was fate, or it was like fate or whatever. But yeah. Of course, he managed to reset time, bring everyone back because the world kind of ended. I'm just going to do a short kind of thing for it, but yeah. If you want to know more about it, go read. What's it called? Hardcore Leveling Warrior. Really good. I kind of miss it a little bit, but yeah. But other than that, I should shut up about that. Now, we go into Greed. Greed is from Overgeared. Yeah, that's legit what the webtoon is called. But Greed, his kind of power, but mostly, these characters are mostly in like, for my category, I would say like game system power, they get the power from. So mostly, Hardcore Leveling Warrior is basically in a game, they level up and yeah. Same for Overgear and also same for Jin-Woo. So that's the kind of category I kind of put them all together. So that's why I had the idea. I might add another person because I have another person in mind. But other than that, I might add it later. Or whenever. But of course, Greed. We go into Greed. Greed is, well, this person that has the same kind of luck as Ethan, But at the same time, he kind of gets his luck turned around when he unlocked this special class called Blacksmith. But it wasn't just any blacksmith. It was a legendary class for blacksmiths. Of course, this is where he can create any gears that are either mythic, legendary, or some kind of busted up gear. Well, not busted up gear. Some kind of broken ass gear that he's gonna use. But yeah, of course, his special ability is to just make overpowered gear. Of course, with his bad luck, there was actually a limit for having good gear in the game, well, mostly in the webtoon, but with his bad luck, he sometimes doesn't make the greatest gears. But yeah, but of course with that, I will be adding greed into this. But we go into the the what if now, okay? So after my short, very long kind of idea of who these people are, I'm hoping that you kind of already understand. If not, I will explain more into when I go into the what if. But let's begin. So the Nine Tails will the Nine Tails will still be sealed into Naruto. Naruto will still have the Nine Tails. He will still be treated. Everything will still go into original canon. But we go into Naruto being 8 years old. When Naruto was getting beaten up, of course, we're not 8 years old. I would say 9 years old. Naruto was getting beaten up at 9 years old. Of course, no one actually helped them. Not even the Ambus. Horusen was right now doing paperwork, and yeah, just like how original canon is. Of course, Naruto, he doesn't like the fact that he has to be, well, in the academy. He likes being in the academy somewhat, not much. But he hates the fact that people glare at him, beat him up for no reason, but yeah. But we go into the special day. Naruto has just turned 9 years old. Of course, this is where, well, villagers ganging up on him and beat his ass, kicking his ass, even throwing him out of his own house and kicking his ass again. But yeah, Naruto could not get a break on this day. Of course, this is where, well, Naruto was right now at the break of death. So, of course, this is where Naruto says, please, don't kill me. This is where the villagers say, no, I had enough of you. You will die. This is where his friends were going to try to stop him from killing Naruto, but at the same time, no one actually did. This is where Naruto saw the knife going close. Not knife, it was a sword going so close to his, heart. Naruto could not stop it until something popped up in his face. Would you like to become a player? This is where Naruto clicks on the little box with his, tiny finger. And of course, this is where everything just goes black. We go into Naruto. Going into, just asleep and then waking up. This is where Naruto's like, what the hell happened? That's where Naruto's looking around, seeing that he's in his, house. He thought that he had a nightmare. He still thinks that he's 8 years old, not 9 years old. Until he checks the calendar, because he had to jump up to see what day it is. And it is past 4 days. 4 days has just passed from his birthday. So where Naruto's saying, but how? I thought I can heal really fast. What happened? This is where something happens. A little blue box appears right in front of him. Hello there, player. This is where, Naruto looks at it and wonders, what the hell is this box? Huh? Interesting. I have never seen this box before. What is it? This is where Naruto kind of taps on it just to see what it is. This is where it continues on. Welcome to the system. The system of the player. This is where Naruto says, system? What the fuck? Huh? It must be a Genjutsu Kai. Doesn't get rid of it, but yeah. And still, Naruto's chakra control is still garbage, but yeah. This is where, we go into Naruto. This is where Naruto clicks on it again, seeing what it is. This is where it goes into a description of Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki N. Question mark, question mark, question mark. So that's why it says the N, but with question marks. This is where, Naruto says, N? What the fuck is N? Huh. Interesting. That's where he reads on the description. Naruto Uzumaki a young boy who has so much mysteries, but also if he grinds and becomes stronger, he will figure out those mysteries in the near future. This is where, well, Naruto says, okay. This is where Naruto, he goes on to see what's next. He sees his stats. His stats. Let me actually get, well. So, we go into, well, Naruto stats. So, Naruto sees level 1. Yeah, that's normal for anyone. This is where he looks at his stats. HP 100, IQ 80, strength 25, stamina 500, agility 75, chakra 10,000, and durability 50. Points 0. So, let me explain why I gave him these kind of like point stats. Well, first of all, HP will be kind of just regular for anyone who's starting. So, of course, it's going to be always 100. IQ. Well, IQ is only at 80 because Naruto is not that dumb and not that smart as any time. Actually, I'm going to change that. I'm actually going to just put it to 100 since Naruto is going to be a little bit smarter in this one. So, yeah, it's 100. So, he knows a little bit about gaming a little bit for some reason. This is where his strength is at 25. The reason why it's so low from any of the other stats is because Naruto doesn't train. And this is only a 9-year-old, so he doesn't really train his body or anything. Stamina, why it's so high is because of the Uzumaki. He has 500. Agility, 75. So he's still pretty quick on his feet, but not that fast. He's able to somewhat outrun some of the civilians, but not many. And definitely not many of the ninjas. Now, of course, this is where his chakra is 10,000 because of the Uzumaki and Kurama. So he has a lot of it. And, well, for durability, he only has 50. Because, yeah, he's still not that strong in his body. He doesn't train, so yeah. And points are 0, so you get the point. So, Naruto is looking around and saying, what? What just the hell? This is where, well, I'm sorry. This is where Naruto is confused. This is where he looks down from that to go all the way down towards from the stats. So Naruto looks from the what's called stats towards something called ability/attitude. He has multiple question marks. None of them are actually shown to give him any clue. This is where Naruto's saying, that's odd, but interesting. I guess I will have to do this all by myself. This is where something popped up right in front of him. What's it called? Daily quest. You must train for this long or, well, this much. So 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, a 10k run. So yeah, that would be similar towards several, basically solo levelings. Basically quest missions, so yeah. This is where Naruto says, odd, but interesting. So Naruto decides to take on that, what's it called, little daily quest. So after he goes to a special training ground, where there's like no ninjas or anything, he gets about 25 points. And of course, the 25 points are, well, there was 5 points in, what's it called, basically the daily quest, but also 20 points since he leveled up to level 4. Because he got 100, well, what's it called, not 100, mostly 400 XP. So of course, not 400, so yeah, he's level 4. Of course, he gets something, well, special from the daily quest. Something called a D rank key, basically for a dungeon. Not D rank, E rank. And of course, Naruto kind of looks at it, and it does give him what it is. E rank key. To unlock a dungeon for you to go inside and get special loot from it. And this is where Naruto thinks about it and say, interesting. Very interesting. I guess that's very interesting. That's where Naruto, he did what's called get stronger also. His stats kind of did change a little bit. So his strength will be kind of increasing to about 35 points. So yeah, just 10 points just got added because he kind of is working in his basically strength. His IQ HP kind of stays the same. The stamina kind of just changes into having 510. His agility kind of goes to 85. His chakra stays the same. And his durability, well, it kind of goes up to 55. A little bit because of just working out your strength. Well, I mean, your endurance will kind of increase. So, of course, mostly durability. So, of course, with Naruto doing that, Naruto sees that he has 25 points. So, he decides to take out the smart way and decides to only spend 15 points into IQ. Because, well, he needs to kind of increase his stats. So, of course, he has 115 IQ points. Well, I mean, IQ mostly. So, of course, now Naruto doesn't have 25, but now he has 10 points. So where Naruto now feels a little bit much smarter, but yeah. Now, this is where Naruto, he is tired, so of course he does go home and does start kind of going to take a sleep. So he does these daily quests for about not a couple weeks, just like 1 week because he wanted some extra like stuff. Because, well, he wanted to level up before going to E rank dungeon. So, of course, every time he does these daily quests for a week, and a week has 7 days. So, of course, Naruto's now level. So, of course, he does this for a week, and of course, well, he is level 28 in 1 week. Because, well, there's something that he didn't look at, well, abilities and attitude. He has a fast level up in such the bottom that he didn't actually look at it because he wanted to look at abilities and attitude one day when it was over the week and all. Well, not over the week, when the week was over and Monday was starting. He found out that he has something called fast level up. Well, what's it called? Fast level up. This is where, well, Naruto didn't see this, but of course, this is where this fast level up gives him the ability to kind of get more points and more levels from the daily quest or from anything, and he will get stronger. So, I should now mention about Naruto's stats. So, level he's 28 in 1 week. HP will still be the same, so be 100. IQ will be 115 still. But Naruto's strength, stamina, and other things that kind of go up. Strength will now be 110. 105. What's it called? Stamina would be 580. Agility would be 155. Chakra would still stay the same, being 10,000. And durability would be 125. So of course Naruto has became actually a little bit buffer. Way kind of more buffer, more kind of chisel a little bit. But of course his points is now 185. So of course Naruto just kind of saved up a lot of points because he was just doing training. And he realized if he just saves up enough points, he will now split them up when he sees what he gets in that, 1 week. He did have a strategy, so yeah. He sees that everything's at right now at 100 and all that, or above 100 mostly. But his HP will still be 100. That's where Naruto says, I should probably add points into HP. This is where Naruto added 1 point into, HP. This is where this HP kind of goes up by actually 10 points. Because, well, not 10 points, 5 points actually. So it has now 105. This is where Naruto realized if he adds, a couple of points, like 50 points, into HP, and it gives him 5, he will not have about. So Naruto's points, he's now having 135, and HP has 350. This is where Naruto sees that he is getting to be either a tank or being fast. But he's still not really a tank, he's still pretty damn fast. And of course, this is where Naruto can still move. This is where Naruto says, interesting, very interesting. Yeah, whatever, I should probably keep going on. That's where Naruto, he's now, well, still 128, but this is where Naruto, he decides to go into the dungeon. So, of course, Naruto has, well, this kind of dual kunai. He kind of grabs a dual kunai from his, what's it called, pouch and all, or kind of these kunai that he was given by the academy. But these kunai and shurikens were kind of dual, and Naruto realized that they won't work in these dungeon. This is where Naruto says, screw it, I have to still try. I still want to be, well, the Hokage, don't I? That's what Naruto thinks about it. When he did kind of ask himself that question, saying, do I still want to be Hokage? Naruto doesn't know if he wants to be Hokage. He sees how the villagers sees him and basically hates him, and he doesn't know if he actually wants to become Hokage. Of course, in that week, he hasn't even shouted, he didn't even scream or anything, saying that he will become the greatest ninja or anything like that, or prank anyone. He instead just stayed quiet, and people seem to forget about him if he stayed quiet. He even noticed that before he was about to shout when in the ramen shop, but this is where Naruto doesn't do it. Instead, he just stayed quiet and eating. Of course, this is where, well, Naruto sees that if he stays quiet, then that means people will leave him alone. So, that's what Naruto does. He stays quiet. So, of course, Naruto still goes into the dungeon, even if he has no kunai or shurikens to actually help him. But of course, Naruto doesn't care. He will become the strongest. His goal has changed when he was having that talk by himself. He doesn't want to be the Hokage. Instead, he wants to be the strongest, well, warrior out there. A strong warrior. Someone that people will not look up to him, but fear them instead. People that will actually kind of hate him the fact that he has power. This is where Naruto says, that's a good idea. Yeah, best idea I can have. This is where Kurama, he kind of looks at the kid who actually he was thinking in his mind, and of course Kurama can actually hear all the thoughts that Naruto's having. Kurama says, well, it seems that this brat is wanting to be the strongest. A goal where he can make people feel fear about him. Maybe I should help him. Whatever he's doing, it's not anything bad. Naruto opens something, and of course, this is where Kurama is still thinking that Naruto's not doing anything bad. So of course, this is where Naruto, he goes in. But before even going in, he was in the, what's it called, one of the training grounds, and he found a Tonto. This is where Naruto looked at the Tonto. This Tonto is half used. This is where Naruto says, screw it, I don't care. This is where this Tonto is pretty good. It's still sharp and all that, but it looks kind of dull. But Naruto doesn't care. He brings it along with him to go into the dungeon. This is where Naruto is in a forest. It looks like nothing changed when he goes into this dungeon. He's still into that one forest. Well, it was mostly a training ground. But of course, this is where, when he looked behind him, there's no river behind him because this training ground had a river. This is where Naruto keeps walking around. And of course, this is where, well, something goes after him. Something big that just jumps after him. Something with a red kind of glow around him. A little bit, not red glow. It's mostly orange. And of course, tries to kind of claw him and even bites him. This is where Naruto jumps back and sees what it is. A wolf. This wolf is right now just growling at Naruto, and it's kind of bigger than Naruto. Naruto pulls out the Tonto and gets ready to fight this thing. And says, I'm not going to die. I'm going to win. This is where Naruto says, I will become the strongest, no matter what. This is where he rushes at the wolf with blinding speed. And of course, the wolf still managed to block an attack from Naruto. But of course, his arm gets cut. This is where the wolf tries to bite at Naruto. Naruto managed to duck down from it. And then just pierce him through the, what's it called? Well, chin. All the way to his head. Just piercing it. This is where stabbing mostly. This is where the wolf kind of goes. Dies. This is where Naruto gets off of it. And gets some loot from him. 2 wolf paws. And, well, some teeth from the wolf. This is where Naruto sees this. And then he really thinks this is actually like an RPG game. Something that he actually did play when he was 8 years old a little bit. But before his kind of place got destroyed by some people. And so Naruto says, this is really like an RPG game. Would it really help me? Am I dreaming? He slapped himself really hard and said, nope, I'm not dreaming. Yes, this will help me. And I will show them all to fear me. This is where Naruto, he is having the mindset of, well, what's it called? Ethan Gon. Now, Ethan Gon always hates the fact that people look down on him. And he doesn't like being looked down. So, of course, Naruto's personality is changing into being Ethan Gon. So, yeah. And I kind of do like Ethan's personality a lot. Like, fuck yo shit. Like, yeah, screw that. Whatever. But, yeah. Of course, this is where Naruto says, well, time to go on. That's where more wolf still attacks him. And, of course, he's not leveling up because he's level 28. Of course, after killing 50 wolves, he leveled up to level 29. After leveling up to, 29, he has 140 points. But this is where Naruto says, none of my stats did actually level up. But my point did. My level did level up to 29. Interesting. You know what? I'm definitely going to keep this. I'm definitely going to keep going on. This is where he looks at his, Tonto, and it looks like it's almost broken. Just a couple more hits and it breaks. That's where Naruto says, yeah, I know this thing's gonna fully break, but I won't care. So he keeps going on, killing more wolves with just either 2 hits with, 2 punches, or a Tonto slice. Now this Tonto does hit for 5 damage, or not 5 damage, about 15 damage. This Tonto is really good. And of course, Naruto has the strength to actually manage to pick it up. Of course, Naruto is right now just keeps cutting through. And he does either 3-shot them mostly because, yeah, he's still strong enough. And these wolves, actually, their freaking health is actually 15. So, not 15. 15. And Naruto's damage, what he does is about 15 damage. Similar to the Tonto, but he's a little bit much stronger. Did I ever say he was how much attack? Strength is basically the attack, right? No. Whatever. Naruto does just basically 3 damage, okay? No, not 3, 5. So of course, yeah. Because he needs to train into actually fighting, so yeah. Of course, this is where Naruto, he's slicing through them, cutting them down. He keeps doing this on and keep going on. Of course, this is where the Tonto breaks onto one of the wolf's head. But of course, he levels up to level 31 because he actually went on and he did level up onto 30 and 31. So yeah, his final level is 31. So of course, he's 50. So he's 150 points now, but he's 31. And Naruto sees that that is the last wolf that actually came after him. This is where, Naruto goes deeper into the forest until something happens. Something big comes out of, the ground. A giant mole, like a mole, kind of comes from the ground and roars at Naruto. This mole is bigger than, any mole that Naruto ever seen. And he has seen a mole the last time when he was just doing daily training. Quest, and he saw a mole that was just small and was kind of smaller than his kind of leg a little bit. But this is where Naruto sees this mole is 10 times bigger than him. And Naruto is not that big, he's only a 9-year-old. So of course this is where Naruto dodges an attack from the mole like a claw. And of course this is where Naruto says, damn it, I don't have the Tonto broke. This is where he still has the handle, but this is where he keeps it instead, put it into an inventory. And yes, he does have an inventory. So Naruto says, shit. Dodges another claw swipe from the mole. This is where Naruto did get scraped and his health did go down. Pretty far down. To having only about, 275 health. This is where Naruto says, that thing is strong. Getting hit by that directly will actually kind of cost me my life. This is where, Naruto's throwing kunais and shurikens, but he knows that those things are dull as fuck and can't really pierce through the mole. But when it hits the mole, they're just shatter. This is where Naruto says, knew those things were fucking useless. This is where Naruto, he's dodging swipe attacks and keeps having to dodge. Until, Naruto actually gets hit again, but this time a full direct hit. This is where Naruto's what's it called? He tried to block it, but of course this is where he gets hit fully directly through his what's it called durability. So now Naruto is at 50 points of HP. This is where Naruto's like, that thing really does hit like a bitch. So this was a direct punch from the mole, because the mole actually can punch and swipe. So the swipe that Naruto managed to just get claw from the chicken of was 75 points from HP, but a full punch actually kind of got rid of 225 damage from his health. So this is where Naruto's at 50 only. Naruto's at his like breathing moments right now. This is where Naruto's right now really hurt. This is where the mole decides to go underground, and this is where he explodes from underneath Naruto. And Naruto couldn't really dodge his attack. So of course it explodes from underneath, and Naruto does lose a little bit more health. But mostly Rubble did hit him and not the mole mostly. And this is where Naruto's health is now at, well, 27. Not 27. What's it called? About 10 HP. He has only 10 HP, and this is where Naruto widened his eyes. Seeing that he's so low, what happened if he dies? What will happen? He never actually thought of if he'd ever be able to die. So Naruto says, no, I can't die. If I die, then how would I make this world fear me? No. No. This is where, well, something happens. Something inside him starts bubbling up. Kurama opened his eyes and does see his container almost dead. This is where, well, Kurama says, damn it, this brat's trying to get himself killed. This is where he sent a wave of, well, his chakra into Naruto, flooding his chakra coils. This is where Naruto's chakra starts increasing. So with the cubic cloak, he has about 50k what's it called chakra, because this is only a one tail. So of course this is where, well, Naruto, he is, well, what's it called, just filling up with one tails, and of course the seal was actually not tight enough, and of course it did manage to fill up. Like Kurama had to use so much power to manage to push out one tail. This is where Naruto whole body glows into this kind of reddish glow, of course bubbling up around him, going into a one-tailed cloak. His eyes go slick, but this is where Naruto's eyes go something different for a little bit. It turns purple for a little bit. Well, not even purple. It just goes a slick red, and of course his eyes just becomes purple for a little bit, but then disappears. That's where Naruto's, what's it called, hair goes red, fully red, for a little bit, and then disappears. And then this is where Naruto kind of feels like he had armor for a little bit, and now disappears. This is where Naruto's confused. He feels like he just gotten stronger. His HP has now just was sent out of the, what's it called, well, the mostly, it's called sky. He is now back to 100, well, not even 100. He's over 500 HP. He's at 550. This is where Naruto saw his stats, and they all went up. His IQ didn't went up any time, but of course, this is where, well, his strength, his stamina, they went up. His durability also went up. His chakra went up. His agility went up. All of it went up over what to call 2 times. So yeah, or not 2 times. They all went up by like 500 points up. So of course his like strength went up to 600 and what's it called 5. His stamina went up to like almost 1,000. His agility also went up to 600. His chakra went up to 50k, and his durability went up to 625. This is when Naruto sees his, what's it called, something actually awoken an ability. One-tail cloak has been unlocked. Naruto's able to control it for some reason. Naruto, he's still conscious. And of course, Kurama sees that he's not able to take control of Naruto's body at least. Naruto's able to take control of this one-tail cloak. Naruto's wondering what is happening. This is where something is actually stopping Kurama from actually taking control and ripping this mall to shreds. Something or someone. This is where not just one, but 3 people are blocking Kurama's way. This is where, well, Naruto got this weird memory, and when he looks at his stats, something actually glitched in attitude because his ability is attitude awoken, gamble for life. This is where, well, not gamble for life, gambling or luck. This is where Naruto says, luck? What is that? This is where Naruto uses the luck ability, but it changes from luck to gamble for life. Or just gamble. This is where Naruto says, gamble? This is where Naruto uses it, and of course behind him, like multiple coins appeared from, well, a jackpot. What's it called? One of those like jackpot machines. And of course, this is where Naruto kind of gets the lever and just kind of goes down. This is where the machine goes into 777. This is where Naruto like felt the luck that rushes in to actually give him luck. And of course, this is where, well, all his stats went to the fucking, well, just moon. They all skyrocketed. This is where Naruto's abilities are all stronger. The nine-tailed cloak actually became a two-tailed cloak. His power became so much stronger. But this two-tailed cloak felt like he had the full nine tails. This is where Kurama widened his eyes and his cloak changes from red to a kind of golden color. Kind of looking like the KCM for a little bit. But it was still bubbly and it had two tails. This is where Naruto, he appears right in front of the mole, slicing it with his claws. This is where Naruto hits it with the claws. Well, clawing it, but also smashing it to multiple trees. This is where the mole HP was at 10,000 for only being an E-rank dungeon, but still, not at 10,000, mostly 5,000. But of course, this is where he lost about almost a lot of that HP. About losing 500. You know what? I'm gonna say what's it called? The wolf actually didn't have 50 HP. It's mostly Naruto's strength is whatever how much he had. But the wolf had like 500, so of course Naruto did either 2 shot or 3 shot. Or even the, what's it called, sword actually allowed him to hit more, but yeah. But this is where Naruto's, what's it called, strength hit, what's it called, the mole for at least almost 1,000. This is where, well, the mole got angry and rushes at Naruto underground. This is where the mole is now at 3,009. So yeah, it hits so much power. Naruto, he rushes again towards the mole with blinding speed. This is where, well, Naruto noticed where the mole was at underneath. This is where Naruto he jumps up in the sky and then smashes down to the ground with an axe kick to the ground. This is where underneath where the mole would be at. This is where the ground smashes him down. This is where the mole then exploded, but this is where the mole is now at 3,100 HP. He lost so much HP from that attack. This is where Naruto lands on his feet. And of course, this is where Naruto, he's moving his head kind of like if he was dizzy and all that. But Naruto, he can actually see clearly, like if he was a Sharingan and all that. Of course, this is where his arms are like moving and wiggling around. Because, well, he is in control. And of course, he can easily feel this lot. Immense power. But this is where Naruto says, what is happening? I shouldn't care, I should probably kill him. That's why Naruto, he rushes at the mole, hitting it again, uppercutting his shit up to the sky. This is where the mole's HP did go down again, going only to 2,000. Yeah, Naruto uppercut the shit of it. This is where Naruto looks at it, and this is where something unlocked from him. Something that should have been unlocked from, well, when Naruto will be able to kind of control Kurama's power. But got unlocked faster. Glitched in. Tell Beast Bomb. This is where Naruto felt like he already knew how to make it. This is where Naruto, he goes on the ground, putting both of his hands from away from him. But this is where something started gathering up. Something red, blue, and kind of black. Just gathering up to the small ball. This is where Kurama widened his eyes and realized that Naruto already learned how to do the Biju Bomb. And on the ability, it does say Biju Bomb, but underneath something called a two-tailed cloak. This is where, well, not even abilities, it went underneath from there towards something called Kurama's power, or the Nine Tails power. And Naruto, that one ability is the Biju Bomb. This is where Naruto is making such a, it looks like the small Renegon. Well, not Renegon, not Renegon. Rasengan, the Vanishing Rasengan. That's what Naruto makes. A small Biju Bomb, but it looks like the size of the Vanishing Rasengan. This is where Naruto, he then just throws in his mouth, eats it, and then this is where his, well, not eats it, mostly kind of doesn't know what to do with it. So of course what he does is just throw it at the mole that was actually falling down from the ground, or mostly falling down from, well, the sky. That's where the bomb hits the mole. It explodes, and of course this is where Naruto widens his eyes. But of course his eyes look like if he was just tired, because he still kind of feels a little bit of the pain. But this is where all of it is being healed so fast. This is where Naruto says, "What the hell?" This is where Naruto falls behind him, like backwards. This is where Naruto just falls backwards. But of course, this is where something happens. Level. Glitch. It just glitches out. This is where level just says blank. This is where stats says blank. And this is where Naruto's ability starts going blank. All of it goes blank. This is where Naruto just passes out. HP is blank. Everything is blank. Nothing has been shown into the system. Something is happening. Something wrong. This is where Naruto, he falls backwards. And of course, this is where, well, the dungeon does still stay the same. For some reason, the dungeon hasn't been over. Because, well, the mole is still kind of alive. Well, not alive. It's dead. But of course, its corpse body is still there. Naruto has to physically grab it so the dungeon would disappear. But Naruto's in this dungeon. And of course, this is where, well, something happens. Daily quest. Do this many blah 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 because it's the next day. But of course no one has seen Naruto. And no one really cares about Naruto. So of course this is where, well, I'm sorry. We go into Naruto's mindscape. Kurama widened his eyes. Seeing that Naruto's able to use a 2L Beast Bomb already, such a small size, but I'm pretty impressed with the kid. Something happens though. Naruto appears in the mindscape. Kurama never brought Naruto into the mindscape, but he does know that if you do waste too much chakra, he could be able to unconsciously go into the mindscape without even knowing about it. Naruto's walking around. This is where he sees the giant gate and says, who the hell are you? This is where a person laughs and says, ha 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 ha. Yes, this is Kurama laughing. This is where the Kurama says, so, my Jinchuriki host decided to visit me. Isn't that right, Naruto? This is where Naruto says, who are you? And who are you and what are you? What happened? Though, this is where Kurama says, oh, my name is none of your concern. But I am the Nine Tails. This is where Naruto widened his eyes and said, but I thought Minato killed you. Of course, this is where Kurama says, also, I don't know why you're here. But Minato didn't kill me. Why did I say steal? Mostly kill. This is where Naruto says, what? The four Hokage didn't kill you? Are you still inside me? It's because Naruto is smarter. This is where Kurama says, oh, you catch up pretty fast. Yes, the four Hokage decided to seal me inside you. How about that, kid? Don't you think that's a little cruel? And of course, Naruto thinks about it and says, that is cruel. But he must have done it for a good reason. No, maybe. I don't know. This is where Naruto says, but whatever with that, I don't care. Where am I exactly? And what happened? This is where Naruto remembers that power, that so rush of power. Of course, he didn't lose control of it. He didn't even get to, well, feel his body right. This is where Kurama says, that I don't know. This is where Naruto says, okay, can I actually know your name instead of calling you Nine Tails? Kurama goes, no. This is where Naruto says, please, Mr. Fox? Oh, I'm gonna be calling you Mr. Fox the whole damn time. Kurama says, you want screw you, brat. Fine, my name is Kurama. Naruto says, good to know. Hey, Kurama. So, you don't know how I got here exactly. Were you the one to bring me here? Kurama says, no, not exactly. Who the hell even brought you here? I know I wasn't the one. I know you did go unconscious, but there's no way in hell you managed to find a way to go into your mindscape without me bringing you in here. This is where a voice echoes and says, "Oh, we know you didn't bring him in. We did." This is where in the dark, in what's it called, just the dark corners, this is where Naruto sees something, and Kurama also Naruto's eyes. Someone with bright red hair, walking with what's it called, a kind of dark coat, and a red kind of like armor plate near his shoulder, but yeah. Of course, this is where he has a sword, and the sword is called the Honor Sword. Like right next to him, it's like big ass sword and all. Another person with golden armor and kind of a reddish glow to it in the armor. And of course, this person has black hair and black eyes, and is right now smiling with a giant grin. Of course, the other person is smiling with a giant grin. The last person with this kind of, well, this person, the first person had, what's it called, golden armor with a red glow and a giant sword, and it kind of had a kind of looked like a crown a little bit, but of course it wasn't a crown. It was just a kind of three side something pointy thing on his forehead. Of course, the second person looked like he had golden armor, a tail. Well, not golden armor, mostly red armor, a kind of golden, kind of a little bit on it, but mostly red, and had a golden tail, and had black hair and smiling. The other person was grinning, and the last person had this black but purple armor, and well, mostly had also black hair and purple eyes glowing. This is where the last person says, "We did summon you." This is where, well, Naruto says, "Who are you people?" Kurama says, "Who are you people anyway?" This is where the first person that I mentioned says, "Oh, my name is Gon, but you can call me Hardcore and Leveling Warrior." This is where the second person says, "My name is Greed, but you can call me Greed." This is where, well, the last person says, "My name is Jin-Woo, but you can call me Shadow Monarch, or just Sanjin, or just Song." This is where Naruto says, "Oh, well, nice to meet you. Oh, my name is..." This is where Ethan says, "We already know who you are, Naruto Uzumaki." Naruto kind of goes down, and of course says, "Oh, okay." This is where Kurama says, "Why are you here? 3 humans? Wait, how you in here?" This is where Ethan says, "Oh, shut up, you fucking overgrown furball. Shut the fuck up. I'm not here talking to you. I'm talking to the blonde-haired kid." This is where Kurama growls at him. This is where Ethan gets angry and says, "Fuck you, bitch. What are you gonna do about it?" Kurama says, "I'll fucking eat you." This is where Ethan says, "Do it, bitch." This is where Greed kind of laughs and says, "Ignore him. We're basically your reincarnations, if you want to think about it like that. I reincarnate from a different world. Ethan did the same, and even Song did the same. We were going to kind of, well, the Song wanted to give you what's it called, the ability to have a system. But it seems that it glitched out, and, well, not, what's it called, a system, mostly. Yeah, we were going to give you the system, but it glitched out because, well, someone decides to glitch in, well, his ability in a little too early. And kind of just fucked up a lot of things. So, instead of giving you this kind of ability of a system, which is still going to be, you would just have everything, but you would have to level them up." Greed kind of said. This idiot kind of did it. He blames on Ethan. Ethan says, "What the fuck you just call me? Greed, you better fucking, better pull up with those hands. Better fight me, motherfucker." This is where Greed sighs and just say, Greed just, yeah. Yeah, this is annoying. This is where Song says, "Oh my god, these 2 idiots are, how was I reincarnated with you 2? This is where, well, Song says, "Yes, you'll be having all of our powers, even status and everything else. Stats will be kind of a fusion between all of us. But there will be secret things that we will be holding out and not giving you our full powers. Enough until you get to a certain level to level up, you will get our full powers. But until there, you will only have 50% of our powers and 50% of our powers. Mostly power and stats and abilities and other things." This is where Naruto not. This is where, well, This is where song says you will be still at level 20, well not 20, 31. You'll still be at that level. But of course your stats and everything would just be at, well, our level but higher. Because of all our stats just plunge into you. There's no limit into these stats. So yeah, good luck with that. This is where, well, Naruto says, oh, interesting. So your name was Song, your name was Greed, and your name was Ethan? That's where Ethan says, yep, kid. The best person out there. Hardcore leveling warrior, yeah. That's where Ethan's Greed says, don't get ahead of yourself. That's where Ethan says, the hell did you just call me? This is where, well, Kurama says, I see, reincarnations. Wasn't expecting that, but interesting. This is where they say, and you're just an overgrown fox. Well, mostly Ethan said. Greed says, yeah, you are an overgrown fox. Song says, giant fox. This is where Naruto says, so I'll be having your powers. Yeah, well, you just have to be training and getting into more dungeons. So good luck with that. This is where Naruto nodded. This is where Song says, but before going, you will be having the power of the Shadow Monarch. This is where Greed says you will be having the legendary skill of a blacksmith. And this is where Ethan says you will be having the most powerful out of all two of those. Or out of all three. Gambling. Smiling with this grin face. Until Greed just punches him in the head and says, just ignore him. I swear to God, how is that even a skill? That's where a hardcore level and warrior says, what the hell do you want? You fucking bastard. So yeah, of course Greed and Ethan kind of start fighting, but yeah. Song size, but yeah. Of course Naruto understands, and this is where he does feel the flow of power. And of course his stats all just skyrocket. I will mention how, like, huge, Naruto stats are. But Naruto fully wakes up, and of course, he did also see Kurama's cage. And this is where Naruto, he kind of goes up to Kurama's cage, and even though he was still feeling his power, he touches the cage and just kind of like grabs the cage and accidentally rips off the gate. This is where, well, Minato, Namikaze, and Kushina actually appeared. That's where Naruto says, what the? This is where Kurama says, I'm free? Huh? This is where Minato was realizing what the hell happened. He looks at Naruto and says, Naruto, what the hell did he just do? He was about to start stealing what's called Kurama back, until Naruto realized that he doesn't want to steal Kurama because that would be his only friend, and of course, these guys will also be his friend. So, of course, what Ethan does, he noticed that Naruto does this with his kindness, trying to free the fox. But of course, this is where, basically this random person is just out of here, whatever doing. So Ethan, what he does is says luck, and this is where he brings out a bunch of coins and sends hell flames, blasting both Minato and, well, Kushina, killing them. That's where chakra becomes chakra and absorbs into Naruto. So Naruto says, what the hell happened? Ethan says, I killed him. That's where Kurama says, yeah, you know what, they did a good job. That's where, well, Naruto says, okay. Of course, this is where he still breaks the cage, and Kurama's he's out. And of course, this is where he can flow power into Naruto much easier. Because the, cage is mostly gone. But yeah, Naruto wakes up, and this is where Naruto, he looks around, and he still sees that he's in the dungeon. He goes up to the corpse, touches it, gets the loot. It's like some fur paws, some other things, a Mo nose, and other things. So Naruto sees it. The whole dungeon does disappear. He gets out of the dungeon, and they'll see that it's night again. Naruto sees this like daily quest and all that. Well, daily quest is frozen, and this is where it changes. Stats, level, everything has changed. And Naruto's like, whoa, holy fuck. He looks at, well, his HP. It's over 7, well, not 7. It's over, what's it called? Now, of course, this is where Naruto, he's actually, what's it called? His points just stayed the same to being 150, but everything did glitch out to being almost over 100K. Now IQ is at, well, 500, but yeah. So of course, this is where his IQ will actually be pretty high. Everything else will be almost at 100. Now this is where Naruto's like, they weren't lying when I'm this strong. Should probably still train in how to get used to all this. So of course Naruto gets to his house in a flash. He's like, This is odd as hell, but yeah. This is where, well, Naruto says, whatever. It's time for me just to go to sleep. So yeah, but this is where I'm gonna be leaving it off for part 1. Now, of course, you're wondering why that high of stats. Well, I'll probably change the stats because I know they're too high. And there's no way in hell. Yeah, I'll probably be changing the stats. So, ignore all that to being like at least 100. And being at least like 8 to 900, so yeah. So, yeah. I'm gonna be changing that instead of being at like 100K or anything like that. But yeah. But of course, with that happening, Naruto does have, instead of having like 50% power, he has about, well, kind of, what's called 25% of their power instead. So yeah. But of course, with that happening, I'm gonna be leaving it off here. For part 1 of What If Naruto was the reincarnation of Ethan Gon, Jin-Woo, and Greed. Part 1. So yeah, part 2 will be whenever, but yeah. Bye-bye. Potato, potato.